Have 2 chances to win with big jackpots every Wednesday and Saturday night. Tickets go on sale October 24th. It's Florida Lotto every Wednesday and Saturday starting October 27th. Drawing supervised by Lottery Security, certified by Valiente Hernandez and Company. Tonight's Lotto numbers 13, 38, 47, 37, 9, and 43. And remember, when you play, we all win.
Next on this special edition of CBS 4 News Tonight.
Hurricane Irene leaves South Florida flooded out. We have a full team of reporters covering this major story across Miami-Dade and Broward counties.
I'm Stacey Santos in Miami. Another mess here to blame on Hurricane Irene. Take a look at the water level here. Authorities say there's a sewage backup and a possible electricity problem. Now the governor and the mayor were out today assessing the damage. We'll show you the areas hardest hit.
I'm Jim Bergamo. Lots of Broward County neighborhoods still underwater at this hour, but coming up on CBS 4 News, I'll show you why this particular Hollywood neighborhood is unique and why residents here are so angry.
I'm Jack Hamburg in Weston. Hurricane Irene claims 5 lives here in Broward County, 4 in Weston. The story coming up on CBS 4 News tonight.
How did this barge end up stranded on Hollywood Beach? Well, officials aren't saying, but we've got the inside scoop for you tonight on CBS 4 News.
I'm at Campos in Westchester, where the floodwaters may be receding, but residents here are dealing with significant flooding inside their homes. The story coming up on CBS 4 News tonight.
I'm Angela Ray.
I'm Steve Wolfer. This special 1-hour edition of CBS 4 News Tonight, right here, right now.
Now, live. This is a special edition of CBS 4 News.
Tonight, South Florida deluged under inches of stale standing water.
That floodwater is covering streets, lawns, and even the insides of homes. And while the storm has passed, the difficult days after Irene could be just beginning.
And good evening. Hurricane Irene is now threatening the Carolinas, but not before letting South Florida know it hit business here.
Dozens of Miami-Dade and Broward County neighborhoods are still underwater, and hundreds of thousands of homes remain without power for a second night. CBS 4 crews are all over South Florida tonight covering the aftermath of Hurricane Irene. Our team coverage begins with CBS 4's Stacey Santos. She's live in northeast Miami-Dade, where a major sewage backup has forced an evacuation. Stacey.
Steve, boy, did Hurricane Irene mean business. At last report, we were told 500,000 customers in 9 different counties are still without power. Let's take a look at what we've got in this place. Looking at the parking lot here, we're told in this apartment complex in North Miami, we've got a drainage problem and a sewage problem, a possible sewage problem in this apartment complex. Many residents have been asked to evacuate. We've also been told that authorities were going around knocking door to door, asking people to leave because apparently the water was so high in this parking lot they were worried it would touch a transformer. Let's show you what else we've got here today.
I'd like it to be flooding.
This is just what it looked like in Hollywood on Sherman Street. Strange-looking waves of dirty stormwater replacing the lawns and the pavement. No shoes, rolled-up pants, people standing around on only small, dry patches of land. A soaking mess altogether. It was the same story with communities near the Opa-locka airport. The only ones having fun were the kids, despite warnings that severe floodwaters could be contaminated and hiding dangerous down wires. Now residents in these areas got a surprise visit from Governor Jeb Bush. He flew in and rode in a caravan, making his own assessment of Hurricane Irene's destructive path.
Hurricanes are hurricanes. These are dangerous, big storms, and they come in different shapes and sizes, but they're all very dangerous. And Floridians, particularly South Floridians, have grown accustomed to take them very seriously, and people did. They stayed out of harm's way, and now the cleanup process begins.
The waters have to subside first, though. Look at what these brothers in Broward have to deal with. Their whole house here, 8 inches underwater.
I don't know what to say. I never expected this, not in a million years.
Governor says South Florida Management District is doing its best to pump out the water from the low-lying areas.
There's a lot of water in the ground, but the South Florida Water Management District is pumping 8,000 cubic feet of water per second, and my guess is that we we'll see a subsiding of the flooded areas pretty quick, and so long as there's not any more rain over the next few days.
But 21-year-old Leona Steffen says she just hopes she can hold out. With no job and her 17-month-old son Joey to care for, not being able to even get her car out of the street Monday morning is a frightening thought.
So much water. There's water almost past my knees up the streets here.
And how does that make you feel? What are you thinking at this time?
I hope it goes away soon, because I have to get to work and I'm a single mom and I have to provide for my son.
Mayor Alex Pinellas took a tour of Sweetwater and brought us his own assessment.
Although there is not flooding in every neighborhood of this county, where there is flooding, it is very, very significant. We've witnessed that firsthand now here in the city of Sweetwater. We've actually walking through some of the neighborhoods, and there's literally water a full foot into some people's homes.
And take a look at the standing water in this cow pasture in Miami-Dade. Not a pretty sight. The horses here have nowhere to keep dry.
I did Andrew in Homestead, and it wasn't like this.
Nothing. You've never seen anything like this? Describe it for me. I mean,
Can't leave the house. You know, I don't want to destroy the car, so just stay home.
Governor got a good overview of both Broward and Dade counties later in the day before heading back to Tallahassee. He told us he wonders about the drainage designs of some of the neighborhoods.
He is to see how in the areas that are low-lying, how much damage actually took place, and make sure that we get reimbursement for it and people get back to an orderly life.
All right, back out here live in North Miami at this apartment complex. Fire crews were on the scene just a little while ago, going door to door, asking people to evacuate. Apparently we have a possible drainage problem here, a possible sewage problem, and maybe an electrical problem, worried about the waters being so high they could touch a transformer. Now, the governor told us all of South Florida has been declared a federal disaster area. We were also told that emergency teams in Broward County and in Miami-Dade County are assessing the damage. That could take a few days. We are live in North Miami. Stacey Santos, CBS 4 News tonight.
All right, Stacey, thank you. And things are just as serious tonight in Broward County. CBS 4's Jim Bergamo continues our live team coverage tonight in Hollywood. Jim.
Angela, I hope you and Steve aren't in the mood for any midnight snack, because I just may kill the mood. The problem for that and the reason for that is the floodwaters I'm walking through here in this Hollywood neighborhood are filled with raw sewage. That's because most of the septic systems here are not working. To add to the problem, as you can see, there's no electricity. The only light being provided is courtesy our live truck. Now, you can understand why residents here are both concerned and frightened over the safety and health risks they take every time they step outside their front door.
Right about here. I actually took pictures of it like that.
Elizabeth Sanchez surveys the damage in her Hollywood home. Her efforts to soak up inches of rainwater, which have intruded into her bedroom, are halted when the electricity goes out early Saturday afternoon.
I started crying. I started crying because it's a lot of work and a lot of damage.
But then it started moving down the walls.
A few doors down, Tim Sortolini is living a similar flooding nightmare.
Oh, it came up maybe about this high, which is pretty high. I mean, it ran through these like rails, and it moved all the way across the room, almost into the bathroom.
Elsewhere in Broward County, you could find these scenes in just about any neighborhood. There were submergent Suburbans. Kids' bikes were kicking up only water, not dirt. And although the sun was shining, Irene was still making her presence felt, trapping this woman in her car as she tried to navigate out of her neighborhood. Newcomers to South Florida were in shock.
I just moved from Detroit, Michigan about a week ago, moved in here about 3 days ago, and this is just amazing. Truly amazing.
Welcome to South Florida.
Exactly.
At Sawgrass Mills Mall, shoppers in search of a bargain may have gotten more than they bargained for at this entrance. As you can see, still plenty of water here at the entrance and exit to the residents of Sawgrass Mills, but believe it or not, this has actually gone down. If you don't believe me, check out the load of cars behind me that sought higher ground just a day earlier.
I was watching and I saw somebody stall, so I said, forget it, I'm just going to leave it here.
Like the floodwaters, downed tree limbs could be found in just about every neighborhood, keeping work crews busy. Back live now in the neighborhood in Hollywood when we first talked to you, and we can tell you here that residents tell us the city did pay a visit today and began to start pumping things out, but residents tell us there's actually as much water in their neighborhood right now as when the city tried to pump some of that out into the nearby Waterford Lake. Residents are most concerned with the health issue. They're hoping that some representative from the city health department pays them a visit tomorrow and can tell them exactly what's going on and the dangers that they face here. Reporting live in Hollywood, Jim Bergamo, CBS 4 News Tonight.
Well, sadly tonight, the toll from Hurricane Irene is much greater than the property damage. In at least 2 cases, downed power lines are being blamed for electrocutions. CBS 4's Jack Hambrick has that story from Weston.
This whole community, as you can imagine, is devastated by what has happened. In fact, most here are too upset to even talk about it. But this accident should serve as a lesson to all of us that just because the storm has passed does not mean the danger has passed. A mother, her twin sons, and a neighbor venture out on foot after the storm. There is little to see because the power is out, their street dark. As they approach the end of their block, there is no way for them to spot the downed power line. The 4 were walking down Fern Drive. As they approached Saddle Club, the boys walked ahead of the mother and into a puddle of water that was energized. The mother watched as they fell to the ground. She ran and tried to save them, but she was electrocuted as well. The victims, 48-year-old Marianne Ruda, her 11-year-old sons, Max and Mike, and 14-year-old neighbor, Doug Hemphill.
2 really, really nice boys, and the mom was a real wonderful lady. She did a lot for her sons.
Do you admire her knowing what she did? I mean, her instincts, I guess, told her just to jump in and try and save these kids.
Yeah, she did what any mother would do. When you see your child needs help, you go to them, and she fortunately didn't realize the situation.
We just like to roam around, just walking. We were very adventurous people, so.
You gonna miss them?
Yeah.
There are still plenty of downed power lines throughout South Florida. Crews are out trying to restore power as quickly as possible. And remember, there is no guarantee that downed lines are not energized. The sheriff's office has ruled this as an accident. Now, if you see a downed power line in your neighborhood, do not take any chances. If you think that it's energized and it's a true danger, you can call and report it to FPL, or you can call 911. In Weston, Jack Hambrick, CBS 4 News.
Power lines brought down by the storm are also blamed in the death of a Cooper City boy. Police say the teenager was electrocuted when he saw a power line underwater and picked it up, not knowing it was still live. The 13-year-old was walking home with his brother when it happened. He was rushed to a local hospital where he died.
A woman visiting South Florida from Germany had quite a close call with those deadly power lines. The 19-year-old was returning a rental car to the National Car Rental location in Northwest Miami-Dade when she got shocked. Her car stalled at 29th Street and Northwest 37th Avenue because of the heavy flooding, and she got out of the car, stepped on a live wire in the water. Right now she's listed in critical condition at Jack's Memorial Hospital.
Tonight, many of those lines are still down. Officials say even underground links have been damaged by the hurricane, leaving hundreds of thousands of customers in the dark.
This storm has been typical of many, but the big difference has been in the flooding, the amount of rain, and now a whole number of communities underwater. And that's really what's going to slow down the effort because of public safety, which is just so important.
Okay, this is the latest on the power outages. As Stacey Santos mentioned at the top of the hour, the last word, 550,000 customers are without electricity across FP&L's 9-county system. That includes 150,000 in Miami-Dade, 115,000 in Broward, and 130,000 in Palm Beach County. The picture is vastly better in Monroe County, where only about 800 customers are without electricity. FP&L tells CBS 4 tonight their crews are continuing to work at a frantic pace trying to restore power. The job obviously is huge, so it's possible that many customers could still be without electricity until Monday.